Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Let's just dive right into it, okay? Second preseason win against the Cowboys in pretty dominating fashion, by the way. Wasn't even close. 31-13. Uh, just it was just a much better game in terms of quarterback than last game. Cooper Rush played the majority of the game, and while he didn't have like a much like an eye-opening performance, he had a much better performance than he did in last week's game against the Colts. So it doesn't make me much better or feel much better about our backup QB situation, but it makes me feel a little better that Cooper Rush had some type of bearing with it. He still was picked off once for 40 yards, but he stuck to the game plan and it worked well. But we'll dive into the highlights and everything on offense and defense. But overall, we're now 2-0 to start the preseason, to start the 2025 campaign. Love to see it. And a lot of standout performances on this at this game. We're going to dive into the first. Offensively speaking, Tez Walker probably had the most output for the day. It's Cooper Rush's number one target, and it was amazing to see. So Tez Walker just had a standout performance. He had, came up with, it was 6 receptions, 61 yards, average of 10.2 yards per catch. Amazing standout performance for Tez Walker. Also, Rasheen Ali really had a standout performance as well. Was taking the majority of the snaps because Keith Mitchell wasn't playing. But great to see that Rasheen Ali got a lot of reps there. So much so that John Harbaugh did announce that the Ravens are going to have 4 running backs for the start of the season. That includes Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, Rasheen Ali. So now it's confirmed that Rasheen Ali is going to be the 4th running back in this squad. And happy for him. He had a really good standout performance. And, there's nothing wrong with adding depth at the running back position, especially with Derrick Henry in that back position. It just adds a lot of variety there. So I'm not exactly worried about adding any more depth pieces at running back. I think anyone else that was recently picked up, like Gaskin, is either going to be released or go to the practice squad. So he will those guys will probably have the majority of the reps in next week's preseason game, just to have a combine performance where they kind of show off their stuff a little bit, try to have good highlight reels just so that they can get picked up by another team somewhere else. But those are going to be the 4 running backs for the Ravens, and I'm all for it. Just to point up something else out here, I thought, like I said earlier, Cooper Rush's performance was better. It still doesn't give me that much of a confidence boost in terms of how our backups work. Devin Leary did eventually go in, but by then the score was just there was no point in having any tape on Leary at that point in time. But it's still it was a better performance for Rush. Personally speaking, if Tyler Huntley does get cut by the Browns, I think we should go after him again because he knows our offensive system. He's good friends with Lamar. I think seeing if we can get a guy like that could be more beneficial. It wouldn't make me, I'm being selfish here, make me feel a little bit better about our backup situation. But he did have a good game. LaJohntay Wester had a little bit of a lackluster performance there, but it wasn't entirely on him because he was tightly guarded. But again, these things happen where a player does have a high and then kind of drops off a little bit. So I expect him to have, some kind of bounce back in the next preseason game, and he will obviously he's the certified returner for the Ravens. So there's no real problems there for me. Uh, Another person who I'm really critiquing this here, but really had a much better performance was Daniel Falele. Much better in pass blocking and creating run lanes. I'm still very skeptical though, just because of his track record as being very inconsistent. So, mind you, he may have had a great bounce back game in terms of the pass blocking and the run blocking, but I want to see that much more often in order for me to actually be sold on the idea of Daniel Falele being the deserving the starting right guard position. But he had a great game, a much better game. He's on my highlight reel for that because he just had a much better performance. Defensive highlights for the game. Where do we even start? Okay, it was just the first point on the board was a safety. It was just unbelievable. Just getting to one of the corners, getting to Joe Milton in the backfield to put 2 more points on the board. Just, it was amazing. Isaac had an interception late in the game, so there was really nothing any of the Cowboys players could do. I mean, sure, we're playing against rookies and a couple of veterans, but again, it just shows how well disciplined our defense looks, especially if it's all rookies. So it looks fantastic. I props though to Mike Green, who is one of my defensive highlights. Mind you, he didn't get a sack this game, but his pass rushing ability, we're going to see it. We see it. He's getting there. He's getting to the quarterback. The amount of pressures that he put on Joe Milton, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I've said it since we drafted him. He is going to be someone that every quarterback is going to fear. I guarantee you that. So again, a lot of different highlights here. We were just stuffing them in the run game, getting interceptions, a safety. What else can you say? We held them to 1 touchdown and a field goal. That's pretty much. So no real bad highlights here. In terms of player critique, it was just an amazing performance for our defense, and really looking forward to when the starters come in because, oh man, I think we're going to see shades of real shades of Mike McDonald's defense when we won the Triple Crown. In takeaways, passing yards allowed, and run game allowed. So they're running yards allowed. So really looking forward to this season for the defense. My player of the game has to go to Tez Walker. He had such a standout performance. Had some great catches, and an average of 10.2 yards per catch is mind-boggling to me. That is something that we want to see, especially out of a guy like him. So Tez Walker absolutely deserves player of the game. Also, I'm also going to throw in an honorable mention. Tyler Loop as well should get a mention here. 4 for 4 for field goals. Longest was 51. Boomed it right down the middle for that 51-yarder, by the way. It keeps giving me confidence in him, that the way Justin Tucker used to be, where we could just shut off the TV or just leave the room to go grab a beer, grab some more food, because we knew at that point in time Tucker was going to make it. Loop is giving me that confidence back again, and I'm all for it because Lord knows that after last season I really wanted a kicker once Justin Tucker left, where we could have that feeling again, and Loop is absolutely selling it. So Tyler Loop, honorable mention, but Tez Walker definitely deserves the player of the game, with just 6 receptions, 60 plus yards, 10.2 average per catch. Thank you for tuning to Ravens today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Catch you all later. Have a good one.